I'm here with John from Nightmare Records artist Halcyon Way. I got a couple questions for you.
Cool.
Where did you come up with the name Halcyon Way?
Well, basically, there's actually a street called that near where I used to live here in Atlanta, and I used to drive by it every day, and I kept going, that's kind of cool sounding. And so when the band was looking for a name, I looked up the word Halcyon, and it means peace or tranquility. So we thought that was kind of a cool thing, so that's what we went with.
Oh, okay. So basically it's hopefully the progressive metal way of peace and love.
Something like that. And we thought it was kind of a cool irony, too, since it was a metal band, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
It wasn't Fish.
Oh, man. Also, on the new album, where did you get your inspiration for the lyrics for the songs on that album?
Well, pretty much the thing is, the whole album is kind of a commentary on just sort of the state of the nation and just the fact that, you know, we've got this two-party system and everything is just total gridlock in Washington. The politicians don't give a crap about anything that the people want. You know, we've seen things get ramrodded through Congress that they wanted to pass, but nobody wanted to see it pass. And, you know, it's just, the system is just really broken, and it's kind of a commentary on that. It's not a partisan thing or, you know, a preachy thing. It's just kind of like
an introspective into the actual political system.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, some of the songs are about particular issues, like the system was about the financial crisis.
Yeah.
And how the system kind of ate itself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, others are just more general. But, you know, I think the thing at the end of the day, you know, we as the people here, you know, we can't just sit around. You know, we either need to vote, or we need to get out and get involved in things or make our voices heard. We can't just, you know, sit around and watch American Idol and play World of Warcraft all the time, you know, and then complain about it.
Well, I'm going to go back to that World of Warcraft because I just brought up a comment since about the masquerade in Atlanta. So, also, Building the Towers is the first album with Steve on the vocals. How has his singing changed the writing style?
Quite a bit. We had a lot of the material written when he joined the band, and what we had to do is we actually went back and we rewrote a lot of it once he joined. And basically, when that happened, you know, stuff started changing, choruses started changing. Steve's real talented with coming up with good melodies. He's very, very good with harmony and pitch, and we were able to just really, for lack of a better word, just go totally overboard with layering voices and making these choruses just as huge as we could and things like that. And so that was a cool thing. We're able to really fatten everything up, and it just got a lot more melodic.
That's cool. Also, a lot of people don't know that some of the people that have heard Halcyon Way may not know that Pamela Moore is on the album. How was it to have her do guest vocals on Building the Towers album?
That was super cool, man. I mean, we contacted her probably a year and a half ago now,
mm-hmm.
and asked her if she'd be willing to do it, and she was into it, and so we flew her out to Atlanta for about a week, and she tracked the stuff here in my studio in my house. And then we did a big photo shoot. You can see some of that stuff in the, you know, in the album cover and in the booklet. And we had a great time. She's a super cool lady, really nice lady, and fantastic singer. And it was just a lot of fun. So we were really stoked that came through.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you get somebody that, you know, off of one of your influential albums, I should say, in the metal world, actually will do, I guess, vocals on an album for, you know, an up-and-coming band. You know, in a way, you're still an up-and-coming band because, you know, a lot of people don't know how good progressive metal is. You know, they always got that, you know, you got to have that growl and stuff like that, where progressive metal is just, you know, got a nice solid backing to it.
Yeah, man, it was a really surreal kind of experience, to be honest, because Operation Mindcrime is my favorite album ever, and when she was here tracking, it was the weekend of Prague Power Festival in 2009, and she was doing a guest appearance with Primal Fear one night and at that festival, and so we were driving to the venue, and we're sitting there and we're listening to the stuff on the iPod, and we put in Mindcrime, and she may have asked us to do it so she could warm up. I can't remember how it happened, but we put it on. I think it was Breaking the Silence, and there's a harmony part that when she toured with Queensryche that she did live, but I could never hear it on the album, and so she started breaking into that in the backseat as we're driving. I'm like, oh, this is freaky. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was just cool. Yeah.
That's good. All right, we're going to go ahead and play one of the tracks off of Building the Towers album.
Cool. All right.
Who's it that does your album artwork?
Well, Travis Smith did the new one. He's done Opeth and Nevermore, and he's done stuff for Metallica and Slayer and just everybody in metal. And pretty much what we knew that he was the guy that we wanted to go to for the art on this record, because we had this concept for the cover, and we sort of sketched it out like with stick figures or whatever, and Travis just nailed it. But it was kind of funny because we knew that was the guy we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And he had to fit us in because he's so sought after, and it took a while, but it was so totally worth it.
Also, I do know, as the aforementioned Queensryche is one of the most, one of your favorite bands. They influenced you a lot. What other bands have inspired you since Manifesto for Domination?
Really, a lot of, as we all know, in the 90s, it was pretty bleak for metal. There was just not a lot of stuff that, it was underground, but it was just sort of a dead time, and so I've got a lot of influences from the 80s and early 90s, and then a lot of influences from 2000 on. And one thing that we really consciously tried to do on this new album was make it a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And so, and stuff that's been influencing me personally are bands like Chimera, Devil Driver, Arsis, people like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that's not even really melodic, it's just really heavy.
Yeah.
But then what works for me is that I take these influences from the old school stuff where it's got all these big hooks and vocal harmonies and choruses and things like that, and when I write personally, I try to kind of meld the two of them.
Yeah.
So I can go from listening to, Bolt Thrower to Skid Row to Shai Hulud.
It sounds like me, What's one of the funniest things someone in the band has done to another member, whether on tour or just in the studio?
Okay, when we played at Rocklahoma in 2000, I can't remember if it was 08 or 09. I think it was 08.
Okay.
When we played there, we had two hotel rooms there across the hall from each other, and three of the guys were in the other room, and then myself, Ernie, and Zane were in one room. And Zane has a prank that he will pull on people called the backwards ass crawl, and basically what it is he drops trowel and then crawls backwards with his butt cheeks going forward at somebody. So we had interrupted the guys in the other room, like they were trying to just settle in after the show or whatever.
Yeah.
To watch the TV and whatever, and we had interrupted them like 6 times because all of our water and snacks and whatever were over in their room, so we kept having to go in and get stuff. So basically we finally did it again. We filmed it. The footage will never see the light of day, but basically we knocked on the door, and then kind of hid, and then Zane just sort of marched in there as Chris opened the door, butt cheeks forward, and So Chris slams the door, hits him in the butt with the doorknob. It was just. So you just never know when you might get backwards ass.
Yeah, actually, don't do that at the Masquerade. You know that one manager. This is a little internal thing since I used to work at the Masquerade. You know that the one manager, Renee.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, you know Charles. He's the main manager, and then Renee is like the assistant manager there.
Okay.
Something that happened when I was a goon there. One of the barbacks that fills in every so often would do, something similar to what Zane did. And Renee went right up underneath and grabbed him by the nuts and put him down on the ground for a couple minutes. So tell Zane, if you see Renee, do not do that around him.
Actually, maybe I should tell him to do it just to point and laugh, But I don't think anybody would want to bear drop trowel at the Masquerade because you might get typhoid.
It's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, there has been some goon bets that you really don't want to know about. Speaking of which, what is your favorite venue that you've played in?
By far, hands down, it was the Garage in Glasgow when we went there with Fozzy in May of this year. Mm-hmm. That place was just awesome, and it was just a crazy show and packed house and a great venue. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
So, what about your favorite U.S. Venue?
I would definitely say that'd have to be Center Stage when we played the Prog Power Showcase back in '07. That was a really cool place to play. That was a lot of fun. We want to do that again.
I'll have to see about getting up there for Prog Power. It would be great to go up and see all the bands play. So I'm 4.5 hours south of you, so.
Yeah, I know. It's really, that festival is really cool. It's really worth just getting a hotel room and staying there for a couple days because, it's tons of bands. Everybody that's going to it is pretty much staying within a mile of it. Mm-hmm. One hotel where the crew and everybody stay, and there's a courtyard there in the middle where there's basically a party going on until 6 or 7 in the morning both nights of the. It's nuts. They actually rent the entire or book the entire hotel itself out, so there's nobody complaining.
Wow. Everybody knows what to expect. You signed on to the bill. You got it.